It was the longest minute of my life. I waited for the first test, like it became positive. The nurse said, how about we do it again? She did it again, it became positive. I decided not to start the medication immediately, and I just continued with my life, and I kept it a secret. Good day, my name is Bongani Lempe, and I am from KZN, and I was raised here in Tembisa, and I was raised by my mom, my grandmother, and my uncles and my aunts. Yes, and I've been here from 2001 until now. Although that I just had to go to KZN to visit and everything, and have went to school to Isegelo Primary School, and I went to Sadiki Secondary, and I also went to the IQ Academy, and I did business management. And I went through some few of the learnerships that they've just gave me some few certificates. In foremost, I grew up in the family that did not accept homosexuality that well. No. And in the background that I have grew up in the background that I've grew up in, I am from the most disadvantaged family, because in the disadvantaged families, we have been struck by poverty, and being in poverty sometimes, it also affects how people see things and how people believe. So, in my mother's family, we grew up as kids, and I've got two brothers. We grew up there. In the family that I am from, it is whereby every man for himself. I started school without any new clothes to go to school. And my mother was unemployed at that time. We were looking up to my grandmother to buy groceries, to provide for us, basically. And to go to school, it was one of the major things. Her mother believed in that whenever you are educated, you can be anything you want. So, in 2003, my mother got a job as a domestic worker. The situation at home became a bit better, but things were still the same, because we just had to go to school without lunch boxes or any money to buy. We still had to go to school to carry our books in the plastic of ShopRite or the bag of rice. We still had to go to school without socks, with only shoes on. So the situation became a bit better, because she was able to provide for us there and there. She was able to be there for us as her kids. Although that she was able, but she was not that perfect because she left her own husband in KZN and everything for us to get a proper education. So she did provide there and there, but the treatment that we got from my uncles and my grandmother was not that good because they will used to tell us how we are too useless, our mother is useless, there and there. They will talk their negative things about my mother, about us, about where we are coming from. Yes, in 2005, I was in grade 5 and I suffered from a low self-esteem because of my speech, simply because I stutter. So I was never into groupies and I never had a lot of friends, and I used to associate myself with other kids during break and everything. There was this one fateful day, and there were boys who were in the upper grade than me. They were in grade 6. I was passing by in the bridge near the Hembisa station. I always pass there like every weekend whenever I am from my other friend on the other section. I always pass there. It was one Saturday afternoon and I passed there. They approached me and they said to me, yeah, this hakuthola, so bocabanga ukuthi uthina or whether uzophelelaphi because you are always with your friends and everything, and you will be talking things and everything. I'm like, what things? They said, you know what we are talking about. In all honesty, I did not know what they were talking about. They took me under the bridge. They molested me, because they molested me, and I was like, okay, fine. Is this, yeah, oh, okay, fine. This thing, it has happened, so what? They did what they did, and they let me go. Whenever I just got home, I was unable to talk about this incident because I was very ashamed, and also I was also not sure how they were going to take it at home, and I did not have anybody to talk to, because who do I tell about this incident? My mother was always absent in my growing up. It is only my aunt who became a mother to me and my brother. I can say that I have become an orphan while my mother was alive. My auntie did not have a child of her own. This whole game, she took us as were they her own kids. She was so loving. She took care of us. She passed on. Everything led to one another. My mother's family was tearing apart. They were not getting closer to each other. They were enemies among themselves. In 2008, my older uncle passed on. From then, things became more and more tougher because only 3 people left now. Yeah. In 2009, my mother also passed on. As she passed on, they called a meeting after the funeral. My fourth uncle called the meeting and he said to the family, he called us the burden. We are a burden to him because he is no longer working and he cannot manage to take care of us. They shared us among the family, and I went to stay with my grandfather, the uncle of my mother, and my two brothers went to stay with my other granny, the auntie of my mother. So I stayed with the uncle of my mother. It was very nice. When I stayed with him, he was against church. He would beat me up whenever I go to church, but I would still go and everything. So years went by, he chased me, and I went and stayed with my grandmother. So I was in grade 11. As I was in grade 11, we went out, me and my friends. It was very nice. I was not yet open about my sexuality. They would see that I'm gay and everything. We went out. It was at night. It was me and my 3 friends and everything. So they disappeared on me. As they disappeared on me and I looked for them and I did not get them, and I decided to walk home. As I decided to walk home in midnight, it was around 2 or 3, and I was approached by 3 guys. They said to me, to only if you do not have anything with you, it means then you have to offer us your body. When I told them I can't offer you my body, they forced themselves on me. So forcefully they did what they wanted to do with me. As they did that, I went home and I decided not to tell anybody. I only told my friend about it, that hey, on that day, you guys, you left me there. Is this and this what happened? She just asked me that why didn't you open up a case? And I told her that what will I say happened in the police, because I say they will see it as an abomination for a guy to be raped. In every month, I would get fever, go to the clinic, get some pills and meds. It happened consecutively that I just get fever and everything. In January in 2012, I just decided to go and test because I saw those people who are testing and everything. I went there and tested. I did not think that the test would become positive. It was the longest minute of my life. I waited for the first test, it became positive. The nurse said, how about we do it again? She did it again, it became positive. I'm like, okay, fine, let me just calm about it. I decided not to start the medication immediately, and I just continued with my life, and I kept it a secret. And I decided to go to KZN to start my life afresh, to forget about my status and everything. But it kept on and on, and I lost like the skin color, I became dark and everything. In KZN, it is where I started to take my medication in the end of 2013. I took my medication, so I did not disclose the issue of my medication to my family at that time, and I was dating somebody. As I disclosed to him that I'm HIV positive, the guy left me. In 2014, whenever I got to KZN, I worked in a farm. Yeah, although that I worked in a farm, the money was there, but too small. But I'm like, okay, fine. I'm here to start my life afresh. My cousin sister got me a job in Prestige. We washed the overalls of the miners and everything. Life became much more better because I was no longer in a farm, and I was staying in one of the township in KZN. My contract ended. As my contract ended, I'm like, okay, fine, let me come back to Gauteng. I came back to Gauteng in 2016, and I stayed in Sidibeng in my grandmother's house with my uncle and his wife and his 2 kids and my brothers. My older brother, he was the one who was taking care of us, buying groceries and everything. In 2016 November, I got a job in Prestige again. At that time, I was in a relationship with a guy. This guy, we were in the relationship from that time. Everything was nice. We loved each other, and in most of the cases, whenever we became intimate, I would protect him. We must use the protection and everything. I had to disclose my status to him in 2018. He said to me, why do you have to tell me now after all of these years we've been together? It means that you are selfish. You wanted to make me sick and everything. I'm like to him, I did not want to make you sick. I'm telling you this because I'm tired of hiding this to you. He said, no, you wanted to make me sick, and here you are. So I'm like, I did not. Things became sour between us. And I was working in Prestige as a cleaner. As I worked there, and I applied for the learnership in 2017. They did not take me. In 2018, I applied again. In 2018, I got discouraged in applying, they say. The plant manager of Adcot Ingram, he asked me that, Bongani, did you see the post? I'm like, yes, I did see it, but I'm not interested in applying. He said to me, Bongani, I'm not asking you to apply, but I'm telling you to apply. Come and sit down and apply. I'm like, okay, fine. I applied for the learnership. They called me for the interview, and I told him that they've called me for the interview. He said, whether it's to me, Bongani, do you have clothes to wear? I'm like, and then, yes, I do. He asked me what. I'm like, I'll wear the black pants and the yellow shirt also. He said, no, you can't wear that. Let's go and buy clothes. As I went for the interview, I was so nervous. The interview went well, and I got the feedback in December that they have took me, and I had to resign at my current job as a cleaner, and I started in Adcock. And I only discovered the designing talent in 2018. As I took it more serious, in 2019 we did the project management. In 2020 they have renewed my contract. We did the generic management. My contract ended. The struggle began. I was jobless and I had to pay rent. Okay, thank God for the friends that I have. My friend from Adcock came through to pay for my rent, and my other friend came through to buy me groceries. And at that time in 2021, it is whereby I went to some other guy around where I stayed. He taught me how to design. In the very same 2021, David Clary was looking for interns. And I went there on the interview, and I was interviewed on that day. As I was interviewed, David Clary did not take me on that day. He just took me as a freelancer whenever he has a lot of jobs. But then from then, and I just have worked with another lady called Chantel Nosipo. She is one of the fashion designers. She teaches people how to design and fashion. I got her through my team leader, Sipo Motaung. He connected me to her. The lady, she has taught me a lot based on fashion. Whenever I come across issues, whenever I come across things that I do not understand, I give her a call. And currently, I am just working with one of the ladies, Mashile. She is known as the Nadim. It is her brand. She is shadowing me, and at the moment I am working for Nexta as a monitoring agent, and I am also a fashion designer and the skills facilitator. At all costs, I prefer to design, and I have attended fashion shows, and I've never thought that I would attend fashion shows simply because of my background, simply because I have lost hope about where I am coming from. But there is only people around me who keeps me encouraged. My partner, And I also believe in God in most of it. In the fashion industry, and I'm learning as much as I can in the fashion industry, and I'm gaining more knowledge from the advanced designers in SA like David, Mashile, Sfiso, and whether Sandile, because of that we are doing different scope of fashion, and I'm learning how to market myself, how to stand my ground in the fashion industry. So yeah, and I am currently working with them part-time, and I have learned a lot, and I have learned how to turn my pressure into praise because of them, to build my own brand, not my pockets, so they say. My name is Bongani Lempe, and I have been through the most.